All right, part 2 of chapter 5, okay? I want to specifically address the training that doctors get when it comes to not only communication, but I just want to give you a bird's eye view of what their education looks like, according to our book, from kind of an outsider perspective, okay? First of all, communication training is traditionally a very minimal part. Now, this is changing. Doctors now, the medical field is seeing that communication is vital to patient satisfaction. Therefore, the patient satisfaction element is driving the need for communication training for physicians. So that is changing. Socialization. The definition of socialization is learning to behave appropriately in a certain community. Now, when young people or that want to be doctors enter medical school, okay, there are few jobs and careers that are as life-altering as that of preparation to become a physician. It is highly unusual, and it is very difficult. And challenging, your book states, even for a people person. The curriculum and it's very, very, very rigorous. So there's some issues. Doctors are expected to be competent in the voice of medicine. Remember we talked about the voice of life world. That was the voice of the patient. Okay, I bend down to pick up my granddaughter and my knee hurts. What's wrong? So this is how my injury affects my life. Well, doctors are expected to be competent in the voice of medicine, the vocabulary of traditional biomedicine, which with carefully controlled compassion and a concern for efficacy, meaning being able to take care of it, and medical accuracy. So they want to be efficient and they want to be accurate and they want to be competent. That's their first priority, not be your therapist or be somebody who's touchy-feely or makes you feel good. It's emotionally. It's all about taking care of your issue. And there's something that they get in medical school that is a challenge. According to your book, it's called the hidden curriculum. This may be in an exam, and I want you to think about this. The practice that others model, mentors, and instructors, things that are explicitly taught are not explicitly taught, but understood. Meaning, like, they might insinuate that things are a certain way, but not come right out and say it. And because it's a mentor or because it's a professor, you look to them and you want to be them. And so you take on this hidden curriculum, this background approach that is communicated subtly, okay? Also, isolation is a big deal for people going in medical programs, involving long hours, very intense schedules, less time for family and friends. It is hardcore, nose to the grindstone, very rigorous and shocking. The things they must do are life-changing. One student said, I woke up that morning, had never seen a real death, and then by noon I had taken part in one. This also leaves them feeling alone because their peers on the outside cannot relate. Can you imagine if your days are working on dead bodies and you're learning about organs and how to cut into a kidney, and it's an actual flesh and blood person. It's not a rat in biology class, it's a person. And that's your day. And then you come home, honey, I'm home. What did you do today? Oh, I cut into a cadaver for hours and I learned about kidney something. I mean, how do you share that? It's heavy, and if that becomes your life over and over and over, you begin to feel very isolated and different than all the people around you, except for those other ones in medical school, which may or may not be your peers and friends that you hang out with. So you become isolated socially as a person within the realm of your family and friends and your circle. And then also your identity is in limbo. They are not yet doctors, okay? But they're no longer lay people. So they're not qualified to be a doctor, but they also know way more than a typical lay person. So it puts them in this in-between world, which is really weird. And it's like they know so much and they're pondering and they're learning, but yet they're not experts. And so they can't say, yeah, I'm a doctor, but I'm also not just a layperson. So what is my identity while I'm going through this process, which is actually a long time, okay? And when you're young and there's a hierarchy, you might be in an internship, you might be fresh out of medical school into a new hospital. You don't have any clout, you don't have any credibility, you don't have any, what's the word I want? Influence. It's the people that have been there a long time, the experts. You're the new guy on the block, especially in this field. Quickly, my son is a brain cancer survivor, and he ended up going in a coma and was going to be an organ donor, and he woke up, and it was a problem. And it was a brand new 33-year-old doctor that had just come from Duke University, his first assignment at UW-Madison, and he fought for 4 hours to save his life. Why did he have to fight? Because he was the new guy. He was 33. What did he know? So I personally am grateful for these new guys because he changed my son's life, and my son will be 29 this week. But I can only imagine the I almost said balls, guts it took for this young surgeon to stand up to the people around him, okay? Also, systems level influence, organizational culture. Doctors have to fight how hospitals are run, the logistics of where things are that affect patient care. It's not just them and the patient. There's other issues. Burnout, stress, suicide. Doctors have the highest suicide rate of any profession. And there's an article in Canvas I want you to look at, okay? And they oftentimes feel very alone. But again, what they do is they have a conflict in their emotions, because in medical school they have to look at a patient as simply a body, and oftentimes it's on dead people that they work. So there's this process called depersonalization. This isn't somebody's mother, this isn't somebody's grandma, this isn't somebody's child, it's just a body. So then they get out of medical school and now they're dealing with real people. So it's a challenge. Bless you. I have to hang up. I might do one more thing on medical mistakes.